Hi there. In this video I'd like to talk about the possible influences of the major transits around the zodiac in accordance with the sign Capricorn. You belong to that sign Capricorn if you're watching this video, or perhaps your rising sign is in Capricorn. So Capricorn is the 10th sign of the zodiac. It's an earth sign, cardinal, as we say in astrology, cardinal earth sign. A lot is happening in Capricorn at the moment, and it's been happening since the end of last year. In December, on the 21st of December last year in 2017, Saturn has begun its transit in Capricorn for the first time in 29.5 years. So it's a very rare transit, and very important because Saturn represents Capricorn. So it is, as we say in astrology, the ruler of that sign. And because it is the ruler of that sign, of course, it has a very strong importance in the lives of people born under that sign Capricorn. So we'll put Saturn here. But it's not all, because there is also Pluto in Capricorn. Now, Pluto has been in Capricorn since 2008, 2009, and it has most probably produced a lot of questioning and perhaps also a lot of very profound changes in some of Capricorn-born people. The fact that something may have happened that has been very, very hard to deal with in the past may still be something difficult to accept. And the arrival of Saturn forming almost a conjunction with Pluto, that will happen at the end of April next year in 2019. Today is the 29th of November 2018. So we're still not in 2019, but we're not so far away from it. So at the end of April 2019, Saturn and Pluto are going to join just about, not quite, because on the 30th of April for Pluto, and on the 1st of April for our 1st of April, it's for 1st of May, sorry, not 1st of April, 1st of May, Pluto is going to retrograde, and it's the same for Saturn. That's going to happen on the 30th of April, so just the day before. Both planets are going to move backwards for a while. Of course, it's only the way we are going to see them from our point of view on Earth. But it has an effect, and the effect is to slow down the energy of the planet. So Saturn and Pluto are not going to be as strong as they are now, and as they will be. Especially most probably during the month of April, while they are very close to one another. What does it mean? It means that for some people born under this sign, Capricorn, or with a Capricorn rising or ascendant, the idea that they may have lost something or someone, perhaps, in a not so distant past, maybe since 2008, 2009. I'm not saying that it is then that the event happened, no, but I'm meaning that whatever has happened that has forced a very deep change, very profound, and perhaps also some suffering. So it is probably not something so easy. Accepting what has happened will greatly help move forward, which is more or less what this conjunction is going to produce. I hope anyway, for some Capricorns more than others, for sure, but if they are taking into consideration the fact that holding on to something that is not so positive for too long may slow them down very much, perhaps they will tend to accept the fact that what has happened belongs to their life path, and as such should be integrated into it and accepted as an experience that will enable them to move forward and to progress, to enrich their own life. That conjunction is going to be much stronger in 2020. And 2020 is going to be a very, very important year for many Capricorn-born people, for sure. Why? Because Jupiter is going to join with Saturn and Pluto in that sign. The first conjunction will occur in March 2018, and another one will occur at the end of 2020, I mean not 2018, 2020. So we are now talking about 2019, not 2020, but remember that 2019, this coming year, is a year during which you should be preparing for 2020, for what will really happen in 2020, according to the fact that if you accept what you have lost, you will be able to win a lot more, to earn a lot more, to be rewarded for your efforts in accepting what is considered as a loss, and perhaps also has triggered some suffering deep down. So Jupiter is in Sagittarius right now. You see, Sagittarius is the sign that precedes your sign, Capricorn. So because it is the sign before yours, it represents more or less your 12th house. It could be your 12th solar house, as we say when we don't know the time of birth, for example, and we can then determine an ascendant, a rising sign, and so on. But if you were born with a rising sign in Capricorn, chances are that you have house 12 in Sagittarius. Now, house 12 represents because it is the house that precedes the sign Capricorn, it represents preparation, gestation. So whatever you're going to do in 2019 will serve you in 2020. That's why you should consider 2019 as a year during which you are going to prepare something. It could be that in 2020 you will give birth to a child or to a project. You may have very important objectives to attain. You may want to change your life in a very definite manner, and in that regard you will be helped by the influence of Uranus. See, Uranus is at the present. Uranus is in Aries. It's been in Aries since March 2011, so it's a long time, 7 years, during which it has transited into that sign. Through that sign, it was creating what we call a conflicting aspect with your sign or your rising sign, and that must have triggered a lot of changes that you didn't want to happen, but that imposed themselves, and you couldn't do anything else but accept the changes. If you have not accepted the changes that have happened, then you may have an opportunity to do it when Saturn and Pluto join together almost in April next year. Because in March next year, on the 6th of March next year, Uranus is going to make its entry in Taurus. Good news for you. It's already happened in May this year. On the 15th of May, Uranus has made its first entry in Taurus since 84 years. It's a long time. That's the time that Uranus takes to travel around the zodiac. So, in Taurus, because Taurus is an earth sign, it will create a beneficial link or aspect with yours, naturally. If you were born under the sign Capricorn, it's because you have the sun somewhere in that sign. If you were born with a rising sign in Capricorn, it's because you have the ascendant somewhere in that sign. But that somewhere doesn't really matter. What matters is that when Uranus enters into Taurus, because Taurus is an earth sign, the energy received by the Capricorn and by anything that's in that sign will be favored in a very interesting way. Uranus represents changes. Do you want to change something in your life? Do you really want to change something that is very important to you, for you, and maybe for the ones you love? If that's so, from the 6th of March next year and until 2025, I would say, maybe 26, I haven't checked it for sure, but I know for a fact that Uranus transit in one sign lasts for about 7 years. So when it is in there, in 2019, it's not going to go back into Aries. But because it is right now in Aries, moving in a retrograde motion until it comes back into Taurus, it will start its direct motion here on the 7th of January next year, and then it will go back into Taurus on the 6th, during the night between the 5th and the 6th of March next year. So that's good news for you, because for 7 years, Uranus will be on your side, whatever else happens around the zodiac. And it's a great help, because Uranus represents one's ability to adapt very quickly to any changes. Of course, there are limits, but I would say that in general, Uranus helps any sign that is linked in a beneficial way with that one, Taurus. So the signs are Cancer, Pisces, Virgo, and Capricorn, and perhaps also Scorpio, because although there is an opposition, there is a complementary influence between them too. This is an earth sign, this is a water sign. This is an earth sign, a water sign, and a water sign. And there are beneficial links between those three, so why not with this one? Even though there is an opposition, the opposition is linking two signs that are from elements that are compatible. Anyway, Uranus is going to help you in 2019 to change what you want to change. Do you want to change something? That's the question I asked before. If so, you should know that from the 6th of March 2019, things are going to be much clearer for you. And you are probably going to move forward, and the opportunities to change will really rise up. And what you are able to do to take advantage of the opportunities is, your choice. But I think that you will be in a position to really in a very concrete and definite, long-lasting manner, change what you want to change in your life. Saturn represents your sign, and it is transiting your sign or your rising sign, whatever, for the first time in 30 years. It's been in there for the whole of this year, because it entered into the sign on the 21st of December 2017. And because now it is really nearing the position of Pluto, that's been in there for a longer period of time, for about 10 years, anything that you have had to do to adjust to situations and events that have questioned the way you were living at the time, and perhaps transformed everything, forced you to transform everything, and perhaps not in a very satisfactory or very joyous or happy way. Well, now, the effort that you have made and that you will make until March next year, when Uranus enters into Taurus, should be rewarded. I'm not saying that they will be 100% sure, because I'm only speaking about your sign or your rising sign. I'm not, of course, I don't have access to your chart as such, so I don't know where the moon is, where Mercury, Venus, and so on are in your chart, and that can make a lot of difference, of course. But the energy of the sign, especially the sign and not the rising sign, because the sun is in there, and it represents the fact that you were born under that sign, Capricorn. The sun is the center of the system. So anything that turns around, it depends on it. So anything that has an influence on the energy of the sun has an influence on everything else, naturally. So if you destroy the sun tomorrow, of course, all the other planets will be destroyed as well. That means that anything really that affects the energy of the sun will affect the energy of all the other planets. So wherever the other planets are in your chart, they will be strongly affected by what happens to the energy of the sun in your chart. And the energy that will affect the sun in your chart is the energy of change. The future is represented by Uranus. The past is represented by Saturn. Death is represented by Pluto. What did die in your life since maybe 2008, 2009? What did you have to accept to lose? Well, who? If you lost someone for any reason, death or maybe breakup, divorce, whatever. It's painful. It probably is still painful, or still difficult to deal with, to come to terms with it. But I can assure you that if you make it, you make the effort to turn that page and decide to start a new chapter in your life, then when Uranus enters into Taurus, it will be your friend. And it's going to remain your friend for 7 years. And a friend like Uranus is very useful, because Capricorn in general are not very prone to changes. They're more sedentary people in general. And they can travel to many places, of course, but they like to remain where they are as much as possible. They need to keep the ties very strongly, firmly, with their past and with their origin and so on. Of course, it's only general. Some Capricorns like to travel, and they're always somewhere around the planet. My son is Capricorn, and he's now in Guyana with the army, so he likes to travel around. But his rising sign is in Sagittarius. That makes him a lover of traveling in any situation, and in any possible way, and he chose the army. Well, that's his choice. Anyway, Uranus here in Capricorn, in Taurus, is going to open doors for you. So before you can open those doors, or at least before you can see the doors that are opening up for you, and before you can go through those doors to actually go forward to reach your future as much as you want it to be, you will need to accept some losses. I would say that before you can win, you need to accept losses. The better loser you are somehow, the better winner you will be or become. And Uranus will be on your side for sure. So Jupiter in Sagittarius will help you this year organize and prepare what you want to achieve or what you aim at achieving in 2020. For sure, 2019, and for many of us, not only people born under the sign Capricorn, but for many of us, 2019 is a year of preparation, gestation. It is a year during which it's like a baby growing in his mother's womb. That's house number 12, or the 12th solar house, whatever. And it represents the life before you were born. So when Jupiter transits into Sagittarius, it is a time when things like that can be organized. Maybe, as I said earlier, you want to have a baby, and you may have a baby in 2020 if that is organized in 2019. Why not? But that baby may be something else. Symbolically, it is a baby. And that's how we call perhaps the things that you want to achieve, that we want to achieve in life. A project may be called a baby. A venture, an enterprise, a business can be called a baby. Or maybe if you're an artist, it will be your opus that will be called a baby. It is somehow something like that that's going to happen. You prepare in 2019 and you reap the reward in 2020. So I will talk about 2020 at the end of 2019, just like I'm doing now, talking about 2019 at the end of 2018, and I do that every year. I do it most of the time, I do it in French, and I've decided now to do it in English as well, because why not? I mean, it may help a lot of people understand better what they can do with all the influences of the planets around the zodiac. There is another one that's helping you for quite a while. It's Neptune. Neptune is in Pisces, and it's been in Pisces since 2012. It's going to transit there for 14 years until 2026. So while it's in Pisces, of course, a beneficial aspect with Capricorn, because Capricorn is an earth sign, and earth and water are elements that mix together quite well. And then we have also a beneficial aspect with the sign Taurus, which is another earth sign. So this is intuition, feelings, your dreams, the ideal situations you could hope for in your life. And suddenly what you dream about, what you hope for, may become reality. And if it does, it is because the Sun and Pluto will reach one another and join together to help you transform your life deeply in accordance with what you want it to be on the highest level. Because Neptune represents your soul, so it is really something that's very important, but not so much perhaps on a social, a professional level. It is most probably much higher than that. And because it is much higher than that, it's going to open many doors, and those doors will also allow you to get better better things and better chances of succeeding in life in any other areas of your life. If we start from here, this is the first house. If your ascendant is in there, okay, that is the first house. But if the sun is in Capricorn, we say that it is the first house, the first solar house. This is the second and this is the third. And the third house is the house of your mental capacity, your brains, and your ability to communicate, to think, and to analyze. So because Neptune is in there, and it's been in there for about what, 6 years now, a bit more than 6 years, it is enhancing your intuition. And because of that intuition, you can feel in a very natural and spontaneous manner what you should do or not do, perhaps, to get the most out of what is presenting itself in your life. Now, you'll have to be careful this year, because although Neptune is forming a beneficial aspect with your sign and later on with Uranus in Taurus, you must bear in mind that it is not going to be so with Jupiter, because Jupiter in Sagittarius is in a fire sign, and as you know, fire and water don't mix so well together. Be careful, because Jupiter may enhance your need and ability to feel, to dream as well. And if your dreams are too far-fetched, or if you are aiming too high, you may spend a lot more than what it is going to get you back, to earn you. So be aware of that, because that configuration may induce a tendency to trust maybe someone or something, to trust yourself, or to trust a project that you may have, or an ambition that you may have, and to feel that nothing can stop you from getting what you want to get because you want it. So if you want it, because you have Saturn, Pluto, Neptune, and Uranus in good configuration with your sign, you may feel that, well, nothing can stop me, I'm going to get it. And even though it is very expensive, or even though it's very, very difficult, I'm pretty sure I can do it. Maybe you won't be able to. And that will, of course, be a source of disillusion. Beware of misunderstandings with other people as well, because Jupiter and Neptune may, make you too trustful in some people around you, and in yourself as well, as I just said. So that is the configuration that could be felt like more or less the stone in the machine that will make the machine not turn so well at all. In your life, you have to be careful about this configuration. It could trigger a tendency to believe too much. And if you believe in yourself, we all need to believe in oneself, of course, and it's good. But if you believe in yourself too much, you may feel that nothing can stop you, as I said earlier, and then you will find out that maybe you have been too ambitious for your own good. So be careful. That's all I can say now. I was wondering if Mars could have an important influence. It will most probably have that important influence when it transits into Taurus here. When Mars transits into Taurus, that will be from the 15th of February until the 1st of April. So when it is in Taurus, between those two dates, Uranus is going to enter into Taurus as well. And I'm pretty sure that around the 6th of March, because Mars will be in Taurus, Uranus will be in Taurus, and Saturn Capricorn will be, Saturn and Pluto will be in Capricorn, Neptune will be there in Pisces, then it should be a good time for you to decide, to make a decision, or to make a move forward, or to ask for something, or to do something that may be very, that could determine a real success and a change that you want to push, to make in your life, could really be made around that time in March or April, early April. In March, because early April, Mars is going to change sign and go into Gemini. That's it, because there are no other transits according to your sign or whatever may be around the zodiac that could interfere. There will be another interesting time of transit of Mars when it does transit in Virgo, and that will be between the 19th of August until the 5th of October when Mars is in there. Because in there, of course, it will form a beneficial aspect with your sign, a beneficial aspect with Uranus as well. And even though it creates an opposition with Neptune, those two signs are complementary because this is an earth sign and this is a water sign. So Mars can also represent a time during which you will be able to make some very important decisions. And here we are in house number 9, solar house number 9. This is 12, this is 11, this is 10, and this is 9. Solar house number 9 represents official relationship with society. So anything official can be decided then during that period of time between the 19th of August and the 5th of October. And that's it. Now, there will be another transit to watch for. It is that of Venus. Venus will transit your sign twice this year, or next year, I mean. From the 4th of February until the 2nd of March, Venus will be in your sign. And it will be in your sign again on the 27th of November until the 21st of December. Take note of those dates. They can be very useful because Venus will transit in there, and of course it will be in a very beneficial aspect with Uranus here, Neptune here. Venus will bring you more good things. Venus represents the good things of life. It's the goddess of love. So it will make you more affectionate, and also it will bring you some extra luck, which is, something that you can use in any way you want to use that. The luck factor, it will be a lot stronger during those two periods of time. Because you will most probably be motivated to move forward, to change something in a very beneficial way, you may have some very nice opportunities arising during those two periods of time of transit of Venus in your sign. So take note of that and use the information the best way you can. I mean, according to your life, to what you are doing, what you want to get, and your situation in general, which of course I don't know because I don't even know who you are watching this video today. This is finished for now. Thank you very much. If you need more information, visit my website and you will find some information about how to order a forecast, for example, or perhaps simply you can ask me a question about a situation that you are in, and I will take about 2 or 3 days to send me my reply by email. So just visit my website and click on the services, and you will find all the information necessary to order a forecast or just ask a question. Thank you. Bye for now, and all the best for 2019. It should be a great year, but a year that is only more or less the entree before the plat de résistance in 2020. Bye for now.